Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Solana. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Now let's jump straight into the TA. Taking a look at the daily chart, we have our support block that we've set up a long time ago from $18.20 down to $12.06 based on the 2021 trading range that we had from February down into March, and then we broke out and we haven't really come back down until November 2022. So we dropped even below that into the lower support block between $10 and $8. And then we obviously had this massive move to the upside, which was a pretty easy 229%. So anyone who's looking to get into Solana at these cheap prices, you had a pretty good trade to take advantage of. And then we slowly but surely were in this downward slope back to the support block, and we dipped into the support block and we are trying to recover and break above. So you can see we have been trying to break above this resistance trend line, this yellow resistance trend line. We'll add it on the weekly chart because there's a better one to take a look at, and we don't need that trend line anymore. So essentially what is happening is we're hovering around the first fib level, and the first fib level is this low that we printed in May 2021. You can see that we have this Fibonacci retracement set up from the swing high in November 2021 down to the swing low in May 2021. And we ended up retracing all the way down to the 1.272, which is our minimal target. So this was $9.35, and you were able to see this level way before we dipped there because we set up the fib, and as soon as you start losing the fib, that is when you start looking at the extension levels. So the 1.272, the 1.414, and the 1.618. So once you lose this low, just like you did over here, you start targeting at least the 1.272. If you start dropping below that, the 1.618 is what you usually retrace to. And you can see we have even a different support, a third support block here set up between $4 and $2.60. And this was our, ultimate support zone that I wasn't really expecting us to come back down this low, but you never know what could happen on these charts. So I just had it on the charts just in case, just so you are aware. There's a nice support block here in case we saw a massive dump during that FTX FUD era. So is Solana a good altcoin to buy right now? Now, I'm not really bullish on Solana in general, but if you are bullish on Solana and you are looking to get into the project, I would say this is a pretty good area to be doing so. You have printed a higher low, as you can see this low, and you have the next low, which is higher. So that is pretty good. That shows strength. You have a lot of buyers coming in at 13.5 cents upwards to $15. So yeah, this is pretty good. We're not dipping below the January 2023 low like a lot of altcoins are. We do have a descending resistance trend line over here that we need to break above. If we don't break above that, we could be looking at another retracement back down. We can also set up a support level over here that we've been bouncing off a few times. So one bounce in March, one bounce in June, and you can see that this does look like a falling wedge. So we're starting to form some sort of a falling wedge here near this bottoming out structure. So we could come back down all the way to the bottom of the support block in this wedge, in this falling wedge, and then we can have a massive breakout. So if you want to set up some buy limit orders, you can target some of the local lows that you have right now. So for example, $15.94. You also have $14.40, and of course the support trend line here, the yellow or the green support trend line. So if you run into resistance here, you see a pullback, you could dump all the way back down here, have a back test of support, and then you break out. Obviously, we are waiting for a bull trap to take place this August or September. We usually have a run up when it comes to altcoins during this period of time. So I'm expecting altcoins to have pretty strong moves, especially some of the lower cap altcoins. Solana is a higher cap altcoin, so I wouldn't be expecting a 5x or anything like that. If we break out of this falling wedge, our technical target is going to be this $26 range. If I put a price tag on that, you can see that this is also a major support level that we back tested in June 2022. Then we lost it in November and we back tested it as resistance twice in February and one time in April. So this is a pretty strong resistance level that we are potentially going to be retesting by September, by August. Not saying that we can't go higher than that, but this is a pretty strong level that you could target if you're just looking for a swing trade. From where we are right now, that's 33% almost to the upside. And yeah, if you're looking for long-term entries, I would say, I mean, this is pretty, you're pretty overextended from the 20 MA on the daily, so I would say just wait a bit. Not a financial advice, of course, but you have been in this impulsive move to the upside. We have potentially some sort of a small Elliott wave playing out over here, so we might have the wave 3, break out and take us somewhere above this falling wedge. Then you have a retracement back to the support, and then another move to the upside, taking us to that target from this falling wedge, which, as you can see, as of right now, this could be looking like a nice little Elliott wave theory structure, but we'll see how it plays out. If you're really bullish on the project and you don't have a position yet, I would say then enter. Because if you have a pretty strong position in Solana and you just want to average in, I would start looking at $16 for entries. But that covers the price action. Let's take a look at the daily chart. So you can see we do have this massive support block below us. We've been retesting it since January 2022, and every single time you enter it, you have a move to the upside. And as you can see, the last bounce we had here was back in June 2023. And we perfectly entered the same block. We set it up, and I think we set it up in the last video or the video before that. So we have one bounce, second bounce in May 2022, another bounce in November 2022, another bounce in December 2022. And as you can see, every single time you're bouncing, you have a pretty strong move to the upside. Sometimes you even get into the overbought. So I'm not saying that we're going to get overbought this time, but obviously there's a chance that that could also happen. So I would say this is where you should have been buying. If you didn't buy at these levels, don't worry, don't FOMO in, you still have time, but just have some buy limit orders in advance just so you don't lose on these nice prices next time. Now let's switch over to the weekly chart. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. Taking a look at the weekly chart real quick, you can see that Solana is trying to break out of this apex here. We are in between this resistance level that we've been retesting since August 2022, and we're in between this support level that has been holding us up since the start of this year. And once you get in between a support and a resistance level, as you know, you typically tend to have some sort of a breakout. So we're hoping for a break to the upside, obviously, but there's also a chance we break to the downside if there is some FUD thrown into the markets. If, for example, Solana's network goes down again, the price would probably suffer a bit because of that. We're below the 20 MA, so on the weekly chart, you're looking potentially very bullish here. So I would say if you're looking to enter, this is one of the safer points you can enter at. If you start breaking out and you have this massive green candle to the upside, I would say don't enter there. but you could be targeting $34 here, which is the 0.382 fib based on this fib that we have from the swing low, which was set up back in December 2022, and the swing high, which is the all-time high from November 2021. And as you can see, our golden ratio is sitting at $72.75. That's going to be a massive level for us to break above. And the 1.272 target is going to be at $600. That's going to be our massive move to the upside during the bull market, of course, if we are able to break above the all-time high. If not, we're just going to retrace back to the all-time high, possibly maybe break it slightly and then have obviously the next crash. So that's what I'm looking at for Solana. If you find an altcoin that's sitting in a similar pattern, there's a good chance you might have some sort of a breakout. So there's a good possibility for a nice trade here. Now, I want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully you learned something useful. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm going to see you in the next Solana update. Stay safe and goodbye.